Hey guys! Welcome to my first Nanowrimo vlog of National Novel Writing Month, November 2017. I'm so excited, and I just wanted to get a chance to talk to you guys about how my Nanowrimo experience has been going this time around. Oh my gosh, I started Nanowrimo in 2014. Just a little background. And I have so many fond memories of Nanowrimo because that's how I started this channel. It's how I started YouTube, and I will be forever grateful for that experience. It was such an eye-opening and awakening experience for me. I had gone years being creatively stifled and just hadn't written in a really long time, and Nanowrimo was kind of how I dived back into storytelling in the written form. I've always been a storyteller. I went to college and studied acting at Tisch School of the Arts at NYU in New York City, and I also participated in the arts while I was in high school. Random fact, I'm wearing a sweatshirt from my high school, Jordan High School. Yes, class of 2005, represent. But I studied art all throughout my entire life since I was a child. And for the period of about 3 years after college, I just hadn't written anything really. I was feeling really just creatively stifled, and my well was empty, my well was dry, and I was so focused on working and trying to survive in New York City. I was working like 70-hour weeks, and none of it was creative, and I was depleted after so many years of hardcore acting training. I fell out of love with acting, and writing was always my first love. When I went to school for acting, I actually attended a studio where we were taught to create our own work and not just wait for someone to write a script or wait for an audition, but actually write your own stuff. And so I started playwriting and a little bit of screenwriting and just getting my voice out there and putting up my own work. And so I've always been creative, but I feel like after that period of my life, it was so intense and it was so physically, emotionally, and mentally exhausting that it made me fall out of love with the art of physically acting, physically emoting, and putting myself into a character and getting on a stage or behind a camera. And that strangely somehow translated to my writing. Even though I've always been a writer from day one since I was a child, I didn't fall into acting until I was in high school. So I say all of that to say that Nanowrimo has always meant a lot to me. I've done it almost every November with the exception of 1 year. I think it was 2015 I skipped, but I did it in 2016. I didn't do any vlogs, but I will definitely link my 2014 Nanowrimo vlogs in this video. I still go back and watch them. They give me so much joy, and I still learn a lot from them. Does that sound weird? Even though it's me and it's my words. That's one thing I love about YouTube, is the memories that it encapsulates, and like how it just freeze frames this time in your life, and you can go back and look and see who you were and how you thought and what you believed and what you said and what you represented. And as an artist, that is so important to me because it's like a time capsule. And I think it's so cool how we can continue to re-inspire ourselves and rediscover ourselves. So I'm so sorry for this super long intro, but I just wanted to convey to you guys how important this month has been to me for the past 3 years and how it is the foundation of this channel. So without further ado, I will go ahead and talk about my Nanowrimo experience for 2017. It's currently day 17 of Nanowrimo. It's Friday evening. I'm filming right now. It's 8:54 p.m. So shout out to everyone on the East Coast, and hi to all of you. I know I have viewers all over the world. If you're new to my channel, I will briefly introduce myself. My name is OhSheReads. Welcome to OhSheReads. It is a pleasure to have you. I would really appreciate if you would just hit the subscribe button and go ahead and join the family. And also, if you go to my main channel page, if you just click on the little bell, that is the notifications button. That way you will never miss when I post a video, and I'm going to be posting a lot within the next 2 months. So I definitely don't want you guys to miss out on anything, any content that I will be creating on this channel. Go ahead and hit the bell and become a part of my notification squad, and leave me a comment down below. Also, really quickly, please follow me on all my social medias. I am on Instagram, and I am super, super, super active on Instagram. It's almost insane. I think I have like an Instagram obsession, but don't we all? Who doesn't love a pretty photo? I'm really, really active on Instagram Live, so if you want to keep up with my day-to-day updates on NaNoWriMo and how I'm doing from day to day, I always update on there daily. And what else? I'm not as active on Snapchat, but my link is in the description box for my Snapchat. And yeah, that's all my social medias. I do have a blog, more on that in a later video. Moving on, slight plug for my blog. I will talk about that in more detail in another video. But moving back onto NaNoWriMo 2017, I am so excited because this NaNoWriMo, I finally have seen evidence of my growth as a writer. How much I have changed, and for the better, and how far I've come. I'm so proud of myself. Just the way I've approached it, even just mentally, emotionally, just everything in every way. I started prepping for NaNoWriMo 2 weeks before it started. So towards the middle and closer to the end of October, I started prepping. I went into this Nano thinking that I was going to work on a short story collection, nonfiction, about my life that I have been slowly piecing together. It was basically something that jump-started because of the blog that I'm working on now. My blog is very personal to me. It's all personal, true stories, which I feel a little vulnerable saying because I know some of my readers of my blog don't know that those stories actually are real and they actually happen to me. But yes, they are my personal, real, true life stories. So that inspired me to write more nonfiction and more short stories and just about my life. I'm a Nigerian American. I immigrated to America when I was 7 years old. So I have a lot of stories and just a lot of traditions I wanted to share. So I was going into Nano thinking, okay, that's what I'm going to write about. So that's what I prepped for. And then to make things even more interesting, I didn't even start NaNoWriMo on the first day. I had been working, and I was going to be working for the first 3 or 4 days of Nano, and at my job it's long days. It's 9-hour days, and when I get home I'm so exhausted. I don't have the mental capacity to write, and I get to work so early that there's no way I can write before work. So I basically delayed NaNoWriMo. Now, if this was me last year, if this was me in 2015 or even 2014, I would have been freaking out. I would have had so much anxiety and panic because I would have been like, oh my God, 50,000 words, am I gonna have enough time? Like, I need to start the first day. And it would have completely defeated the purpose of producing anything valuable because I would have been so panicked and so stressed that probably those days that I forced myself to write because I didn't want to wait, the stuff that I wrote on those days would have ended up being discarded in, my second draft after NaNoWriMo. Because that happened to me in 2014. I had so much anxiety. Granted, it was my first year doing it, but it also happened to me last year. I had so much anxiety about writing daily, which is important, but yet I was working 2 jobs last year, that I would force myself to write. And then when I went back to do a second draft of the story that I wrote during NaNoWriMo a few months later, I discarded most of that stuff because it was just jumbled crap. So I learned my lesson this year, and I said, you know what? I'm going to be mentally exhausted. I'm working. Granted, this year I'm not working 2 jobs, but I'm still working 9-hour plus days. For the first 4 or 5 days of NaNoWriMo, I'm not going to do that to myself. I am going to wait because I knew I was going to be off. Let's see, I need to look at my calendar so I can remember. So NaNoWriMo started on Wednesday, November 1st. I worked that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But I was going to be off Sunday the 5th, Monday the 6th, Tuesday the 7th, and Wednesday the 8th. I went back to work, wait, is that right? I think so. I went back to work on the 9th or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. But I knew there was going to be a long stretch of time, like about 3 or 4 days, where I would have time to write. So that's what I did. I delayed NaNoWriMo. When I started, when I was rested, when I was in my right mental mind, when my creative energy was flowing and my well was full of ideas, and I started writing. So that's something that's changed and shows growth, you know? And I was so proud of myself that I produced stuff that I actually really liked. But here's what happened. I started off writing a short story, nonfiction, about my life. It changed. 2 to 3 days in, I got this other story idea that started coming forth. A fictional story that was supposed to be young adult fantasy. So I started working on that. 2 to 3 days into that idea, I hit a wall. I don't know where to go from here. The story's hit a dead end. It's kind of becoming a romance, but the romance is boring. The age group doesn't seem right. All of a sudden, I get inspired on Saturday, this past Saturday, and it morphs into a new adult, still fantasy, still the same characters. Now the characters are older, and all of a sudden this intergalactic element comes into the story. As of today, it's currently Friday, almost a week after that idea birthed. I had another 3 to 4 days off of work, so I really got into the story. And somewhere around Wednesday, so a few days ago, the story changed again. And it's become even more epic, the world building even broader. It's not only become intergalactic, now we're talking other planets, there's a whole universe that's formed. So this story has just become huge. I don't even know if it's just going to be one book, to be honest with you. But I'm not going to stress out. Now keep in mind, I started off with a nonfiction short story collection about my life, which morphed into a young adult romance fantasy, which morphed into a new adult romance fantasy with mystery elements, with a bigger universe, which has now morphed into a high fantasy. Like what? So my 50,000 words are going to be very interesting because it's like one book and then another book and then another book. It's like 3 to 4 books in one, but I'm not stressed because honestly, this NaNoWriMo, I'm just having fun with it. I'm going where the story is taking me. Last year, I would have been stressed as hell, like, oh my god, what am I going to do? This is like so many stories. How am I going to edit this? Which story should I go with? I'm going with the story that is demanding to be told, which apparently is this huge high fantasy novel. And I don't have a lot of experience writing high fantasy, but I have a big imagination. I've always loved reading high fantasy novels. I love the Throne of I can't talk. Glass series, which is, high fantasy light. I know it's not, Game of Thrones or anything, but I really enjoy it. And I enjoy the fact that this whole world, this whole universe with a language and a mythology and everything within itself. And I think that my love of that idea is coming through in my own work, which is kind of cool. But yeah, so that's where I am now, and I have been writing a lot. And I've written altogether, I know it's all these different stories, but altogether I'm almost at 40,000 words on day 17. I haven't written anything today, and once again, I'm not stressed at all. Last year I would have been literally sweating bullets and feeling so guilty and so bad about myself as a creative and as a writer. But I haven't written anything today because I worked a long day, a 9-hour plus day. I got home, I wanted to film this video for you guys and let you know how my NaNoWriMo is going. So I just knew, no writing is going to get done today. But I work tomorrow's Saturday, but I do not work on Sunday. So tomorrow night, because I don't have to get up on Sunday, I'm going to be relaxed. I'm going to get my tea, go into my writing cave, catch up on some words. My word goal for tomorrow, Saturday, November 18th, tomorrow evening, I think I'm going to write about 7 p.m., is going to be 2,000 words. Then Sunday I'm off. My word goal for that day is 3,000 words. Then I go back to work on Monday. And then, of course, that'll be the week of Thanksgiving. So it's going to be touch and go that week. But I only have 10,000 words to go until I hit my 50,000 word goal for Nano and win Nano. So I'm not stressed whatsoever. I have plenty of time. Whew, I feel like I've just been running my mouth. I feel like I need water. Lord. But I'm just so proud of myself, this NaNoWriMo, you guys. It's gone so well. Things are just flowing. The stories are all interesting despite, morphing so many times. And I am still going to work on that short story collection. That is definitely something I'm still doing. And if you want to read some of my short stories, I will make a separate video talking about my blog, which is where I've been featuring them. And you guys can go check that out. But I'll be making that video a little bit later this month. But yeah, NaNoWriMo has been such an experience this year. It's been so enjoyable. I feel like this has been the most enjoyable year. This has been the year I've been the most relaxed. This is the year I've been the most confident in my writing. I've seen how much my writing has grown. I feel like I'm coming into my own as a writer, and I feel good. I feel so good about where I am right now. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And if any of you are participating in NaNoWriMo this year, then I will leave my link below so that we can friend each other on the site and be writing buddies and, you know, support each other. Let me know in the comments how things are going for you all. You know, are you struggling? I'm going to be writing. I'm going to be making a video all about writing tips and just my advice, my tips and my tricks. And that video will be going up later this week. By this week, I mean the week that begins with Monday, November 20th. So that video will be going up soon. But I just wanted to check in with you guys and share this amazing, positive NaNoWriMo experience with you all. And I want to wish all of you writers the best of luck. And just breathe. Breathe through this process. Don't forget to take care of yourself. Self-care is so important. Don't beat yourself up. And if your story starts to change and morph and go in directions that you didn't even fathom or imagine, just go with it. You have nothing to lose, and this is not going to be perfect. This is this is the roughest of a rough draft. And, you know, you're going to have time after this month to really go back and see what you've written, what you've produced, and take it from there. So just have fun this NaNoWriMo. You know, just let the words flow. If you're hitting a wall, there's probably something wrong with your story. You know, is it the right genre? Are the characters the right age? Is something missing? Does something need to be taken away? Just take some time to marinate and think about it, and just remember that it's really about the journey and the process and your growth as a writer. And don't be overwhelmed by that 50,000 word goal. Yes, you need to hit 50,000 words in order to formally win on the NaNoWriMo site, but I know a lot of writers that use this month as a time to basically set their own goals. Whether it's, I want to write 10,000 words, especially if you're a new writer, if you've never written a novel before, then, you know, 50,000 words can be really intimidating. So I know a lot of writers that are like, okay, I'm going to use this month to write 10,000 words or 12,000, or I just want to write every day, no matter how many. If I write 200 words, if I write 5 words, I just want to write daily and build that habit. So just really think about what your personal goals are for this NaNoWriMo and what you're trying to achieve before you beat yourself up and, you know, place all these expectations on yourself that aren't fair to you because they don't align with your actual vision for yourself as a writer. I hope that all made sense. Anyway, this video has gotten entirely too long, as always. I hope you grabbed something to drink before this video started, and I will end the video here. Keep an eye out for my writing tips and tricks video going up soon, and I will see you all next time. Bye. Happy writing. Love you guys. Bye. Thumbs up this video. Subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye. Leave her, and therefore she's gone through this really gruesome, horrific hate crime against her own soul, because that is what rape is, guys. And so this is definitely more serious, on a more serious tone and a darker vein, but I think it fits into